All right. So it's a podcast that I'm doing today. There's a way to start. I like that. Yeah, podcast. We're podcasting right now. I wonder how many other podcasts there are out there right now. But how many other people do it on a daily basis? I will tell you, probably millions. It's not helpful to me that Seinfeld is a genius. Let's start there. It's very not helpful. I need for more people to fail. That will make me feel better. And I know that's the wrong attitude. I need to be, wanting everyone else to succeed. But I saw there's a special that he did that's on YouTube that's from 1985, I think, or 89. And I'm watching it and I'm like, God, he was brilliant then. I don't need this. It would have been more helpful to me if I watched that and he went, oh man, he really sucked. Boy, took him a long time to get good. No, he was good from the day one. I don't need that. I don't need to hear that. I don't need to hear about Mozart. Oh, he was a genius. He was composing stuff at 5 years old. Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. At 5 years old, I was still struggling with the potty training. That's what was happening with me at 5 years old. And watching Star Trek 4 over and over and over again. And really, I've got the potty training under control, but still got the bowel problems. Still watching Star Trek 4 over and over again. Nothing has changed. I have not moved. It's been not even a lateral move. I am still a 5-year-old baby with an overpriced health plan. That's where I'm at this point. Here's one specific detail that I genuinely can't stand about Denver. I cannot stand the obsession with the Cowboys and the Wild West. I've never been a fan of the Wild West. I'm not a huge Western person. I don't like dust. I don't like the way we subjugate horses. I don't like the hats. I don't like the boots. If you are a person who likes these things, I don't want to insult you. But it doesn't do it for me. I don't like pretending I'm living in an era where where the medical procedures are even more questionable. I think somebody in the Wild West was probably still using leeches. Not up to speed. Then again, you know what? Maybe things were healthier. But the whole thing. Tying a rope and catching a steer. I don't want to know about that. I don't want to do that. Now, not to say, by the way, that I'm any kind of saint when it comes to the treatment of animals, because I'm still eating meat. So, let's be clear. I'm still a horrible creature. I just don't want to be reminded of it. And these were the mascots, the cowboy kind of thing, or the Wild West theme was, I was marinating in it in the schools. I went to Ponderosa Elementary School, Prairie Middle School, Overland High School. How many different ways can you name a school after a flat plane? That seemed to be the challenge that was laid down at the Cherry Creek School District. One of the high schools was called Grandview. It should be called No View. I went to, oh look, there's mountains over there and nothing here, high school. In all actuality, when you remove all the malls and the construction on the overland, on the plains, probably very beautiful. That's what sucks about plains, about flat land, is, as soon as you build on it, now it's just malls. That's what the next iteration of the high school is, that's what they're going to call. Grand Mall High School. Over Outlet Mall High School. Esplanade Elementary School. And in elementary school, they named all the grades after Wild West stuff. And let's see if I can remember all of them. Because first grade was Trail Dust. That's what they called the first graders. What an uplifting way to start your experience. Kindergartners didn't have a name. And we weren't even in the main building. We were in one of those mobile buildings that never moves. But it's like it's a building that was transported on a flatbed truck that was freezing in the winter. And then we finally got into the main building. And first grade, Trail Dust. Second grade was Rodeo, so that's, I guess, an upgrade. And it was a rodeo. That's dealing with second graders. Rodeo, that's about right. I mean, at least the cattle are humane. At least the cattle have compassion. Third grade. What was third grade? This is where my memory starts to get foggy. What was third grade? One of them was Silver Spur. There was a Silver Spur. That might have been sixth grade, but halfway through, when I was there, they moved sixth grade to the middle school. But the other one, I vaguely remember, one of them was Silver Spur, one of them was Hitching Post. How do you name an entire grade after the piece of wood that you tie a horse to? Who came up with that? Fourth grade, they're about as smart as a hitching post. Well, actually, now that makes 100% sense, now that I think about it. I think they were vaguely insulting us. Looking back on it. Trail Dust, these people are as smart as Trail Dust. Silver Spur, dealing with these kids, it's like driving a spur into my sides. Hitching Post, that's how dumb they are. Yeah, now that I think about it, actually, I think it was a subtle way of making fun of the children. Then we got to middle school, Prairie Middle School. And now, they're not doing, this is what I love. Now they're not doing, Wild West names. Now Prairie Middle School, you've got the Prairie, that's the name of the school, so that's still Wild West themed. But we were divided into what they called academies. Academy 1, Academy 2, Academy 3. There were a lot of great teachers at this school. There were a lot of good things about this school. Academy is not the word I would use. We were not walking around, with all of us guaranteed to get into Harvard. Academy has a connotation that suggests, I'm being picked up after school in the copter. Then we get to Overland High School, where finally, I don't know, it's just, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Now, all right, finally, we're like everyone else on Earth. Not on Earth. I don't think that's how they do it in other countries. Sorry about that. I was having an American moment there. But now we're like most of the rest of the country. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Great. And Overland was really where I refined my depression, I would say. I mean, I think the beginnings of it happened in middle school, but Overland was where I where I cultivated it, where it really came into its own. The high school was where my depression matured. Then my mom tells me, oh, this story kills me. So the principal at the time, I was not really, I remember not being a fan of the guy because it seemed from my point of view that it seemed like he really liked all the sports more than the arts. And probably I was misreading it. Looking back on it, I think maybe the reason why was because he's trying to get these kids scholarships, and there are probably a lot more sports scholarships than there are arts scholarships, unfortunately. And maybe that's where his emphasis was. Or maybe you put him in sports, you keep him off the streets, that kind of thing. But my mom recently told me this, that apparently around the time I graduated, he called her and said, just want to let you know your son is very special. He's very intelligent. And she never told me that before. I think the guy's dead now. I don't know what happened. He died fairly young. But she said that he called her and said that to her. And my first thought was, well, he probably did that to a lot. Like, it was probably a stock. It's like when the president calls the sports team and say, hey, congratulations, and it's, a couple of stock sentences that, you get used to saying after years and years. But I don't, maybe, because I don't recall, I never really talked to the guy. And maybe that's why now that I think that, maybe that's why he called her. Because usually you talk to the principal, it's because something is wrong. Maybe that's what he said. Listen, I never had to talk to him. Thank you. I never had to deal with him. He didn't cause trouble. Good work. I have no idea what his life is. And I don't have. I wish they could all be that invisible from my life. Thank you very much. Tell him he's on his way. Yeah, now that I look back on it, they were making fun of us with that. Trail dust, hitching post. What do you call the third grades? Idiots. Yeah, that's just the name. The idiots. You're an idiot now. They don't know. They're in third grade. They're idiots. Look at them. Half of them are eating paint. So that's what I'm up to at this point. Trying to navigate the world and the business of stand-up comedy, which the more I navigate it, the more I recognize that it is no different than anything else, and that it is in that it is unpredictable, ultimately. and that we're all groping around in the dark, pretending that we know what we're doing. Because the thing is, I really do. I want to build a following as a comedian, and it occurred to me that it's not really motivated by money. It's motivated by the fact that the people who have followings do more shows because they can sell out the rooms. So it's more about, continuing to be able to just do shows. So I feel less greedy. I mean, it's not about, it's not about being rich and famous per se. I think what I would like is to be able to make a living at it and be comfortable and be respected. I think I care more about that than, everybody knows my name, per se. Because fame, I don't know. Fame, it comes and it goes. I've never been at this light when it's red. Is that true? No, I've been at this light when it's red before. I must have. Why am I having gastrointestinal distress, you ask? Well, I had fried food yesterday. And too much protein. Overdoing it on the protein. Got to get back to the plant matter. Got to eat more nuts. Well, this was engaging. I learned some things about myself. Glad one of us had a good time. I'm projecting that you didn't have a good time. I don't even know who's listening to this. Have a nice day.